go ahead and talk about the Golden State Warriors and Brooklyn Nets. Those two teams now sit at a record. The Nets sit with a record of 13-11, and the Warriors sit with a record of 12-11. The last time we talked about these two teams, I believe that they were both below 500, and there are two guys that they've been waiting to come back from coming off of injury. Klay Thompson and Ben Simmons have been playing great. And he's been very critical and harsh about Klay Thompson, so I've been waiting to talk about this because Klay Thompson has been going on for 2 weeks now. But of course, we always save our episodes for 2 weeks later compared to from our last episode. So of course, what do you got to say about that?
Well, we'll speak about the Warriors first. I think the Warriors are essentially I feel like what they're doing is they've kind of limited their rotation. They've kind of just cut down on the amount of guys that they're playing every night, and that's kind of helped. They've kind of limited the minutes that they're giving to the younger guys and just focused on the core rotation. And I feel like they've been playing like 8-man rotation, sometimes 9. They're not going too deep in their bench as we're so used to the Warriors, and that's kind of aided them in terms of starting to win games. And of course, Steph Curry's play. But regarding Klay Thompson, I feel like he's done a way better job of finally just limiting the certain type of shots that he was taking. He's playing within the system for once. I feel like early on in the season, it was just selfish basketball the way that he was playing. That style just doesn't resonate with the Warriors. Their team predicated on ball movement, taking good shots, getting open. And Klay Thompson, ever since I believe the Suns game, he's been playing a lot better in terms of just getting to his spots, taking good shots, being patient within the offense, just letting things come to him. And that's the benefit of playing in a system like the Warriors. The Warriors do a great job of just allowing you to just get to your spots, get open, and just a bunch of ball movement. So I will give Klay credit for being able to play within the system and just being overall a much better player. And regarding Ben Simmons, I mean, yes, I will say he was better than what he was at the beginning of the season. There's no question about that. At the beginning of the season, he didn't look like he should have been in the NBA. He should look like he should have been in a different league. But now I feel like he's been doing a much better job in terms of attacking the baskets. Attacking the basket, he's been playing great defense. Just overall, I feel like his play has gone up. But again, the Nets, I mean, they're sitting at the 6th spot right now, and that's where me and Big Ace generally like talked about them being around. I mean, I never had them higher than this. I'm still not sold on this team. I mean, they lost to the 76ers without Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and James Harden. Like, that's an embarrassment. I'm not sold on this team at all. I don't think they're a particularly great team. They lack rim protection. Their overall defense isn't good. They lack ball movement. But Ben Simmons and Klay, I have to give them credit. They are playing much better than what they were in the beginning of the season. So we have to see if it continues, but fair play to them.
Yeah, speaking on the Klay thing, man, I feel like Steve Kerr, had a little sit down with him and told him like, hey man, all these erratic shots and all these fadeaway mid-range bounce back jump shots that he's taking off the dribble, that's not his game. I feel like they got to go back to what Warrior basketball is, 2016 type basketball, where the movement, where he's coming off down screens, where he's coming off back screens, where he's cutting, where he's moving, and he's getting open shots. And I felt like we've seen that the last 9 games. I think their last 8, they're about to be 7-1 in their last 8. And he's been balling in the last 8 games for them. So I was one of the guys that was talking about Klay Thompson's not coming back. He's this, he's that. But these last 7 games, he's been pretty consistent, and they've been winning with him being consistent like that. So it's looking good for the Warriors with him playing like this, and we'll see if the consistency can stay for them, and who knows what they can do. And then speaking on Ben Simmons, man, a 4-game sample of him scoring 13, 14, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. To me, that's nothing. I need to see more from Ben Simmons. I really need to see more from Ben Simmons. But this is where I projected him at. Like I'd be said, 6th seed. They're still, they lose to Philadelphia without James Harden, and then they beat Toronto, and then they come back and they lose to Indiana Pacers. And it's like one day they beat a great team, next day they lose to a trash team, and the next day it's another bad team. And it's like, where's the consistency in that team? And I don't know. We'll see what Kyrie. I haven't really watched Kyrie the last couple of games. I don't know if
he hasn't looked as good. Yeah, like he's been all right.
He's been all right.
Yeah, it has been like.
I feel like they need him to take that extra step and start cooking up for them to catapult into that top 3, top 4.
But he had a good like last game, but like it just feels like Kyrie's not playing with a sense of urgency ever since I seen him come back. Like he's been hovering around 20 points, 22, 23, and then he had a couple, I think 27-point games, but just feels like overall Kyrie's just all right. Like he hasn't been playing up to his standards.
Like he's just there to be a point guard on that team. He's not the all-star Kyrie that we want and to expect it for him to hoop, but yeah, so this next team, I still see a couple problems with it. They still need some depth on the bench, and if Ben Simmons can keep or go back to his form in Philadelphia, the way he was playing in Philadelphia, averaging 15, 7 to 7, maybe might be good for the Nets, but we'll see.
I gotta say, when it comes to Ben Simmons, you're as harsh as it gets, because he's actually been playing pretty great. I would say, since the beginning of the year, a lot of games where he's had double doubles and a couple of games over 15 points. This I knew this was gonna come simply because of conditioning. He just needed to get his legs back from under him and getting out there on the floor. And so about the Brooklyn Nets, in my opinion, I feel like they're in the perfect spot right now. They're starting to figure things out. Ben Simmons did just get injured with a calf strain, so he's going to be out a couple of games. But regardless, these guys know how to play without one another. So if it's just KD and Kyrie, of course, those two guys are familiar with each other, and they're starting to get pieces back. Like TJ Warren finally stepped on the court after three years, and he didn't look too bad in that game yesterday against the Raptors. So, and of course, Kyrie, he'll pick it up because it's only been maybe like a week, a little less than a week for him coming back from that suspension. And then Kevin Durant, of course, we know what Kevin Durant is about, but I believe he's averaging somewhere around 28, 29 points a game right now. So the Nets and Ben Simmons, it's great to see them, starting to turn their season around, starting to win a lot more games compared to, what they were doing in the beginning of the year. But I want to get back to I want to talk about the Warriors right now. Last time I talked about them, I said something about them being stuck in a double timeline where they were focused on, getting young guys up to speed and developing those guys while having your core guys like Steph, Klay, Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney, and trying to win a championship. Of course, those two things don't work well together. So the Steve Kerr made the executive decision to send James Wiseman to the G League and bench a lot of those younger guys like Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. We don't necessarily see Moses Moody play anymore. And Jonathan Kuminga, he gets minutes here and there, but he honestly hasn't looked too bad ever since, he's earned his minutes again. But right now, what I'm seeing from the Warriors is good. It's a little concerning because their bench isn't necessarily the greatest. When those main hitters, Steph and Klay Thompson, hit the bench and Draymond Green and stuff like that, their offense tends to struggle a little bit. Jordan Poole, he's starting to look better and better coming off the bench. At the same time, it's a little bit inconsistent for my liking. And speaking about Klay Thompson, I mean, this is something I've been trying to tell you guys since all of last season, throughout the off season. It's going to take some time for him to go back to his old form. He's slowly starting to get there. Of course, we talked about his shot selection not being the greatest, but when you're that great of a shooter and you have so much confidence in yourself and believing, the next shot's going to go and the next shot's going to go in, like there's going to be some times where the next shot is just not going to go in and you're going to go through a slump. And I feel like that's what Klay Thompson was going through at the start of the season, but you guys were quick to jump the gun like, he's washed and, he's never going to return back to his old form. But ever since that sit down after that Suns game, we're starting to see Klay Thompson, settle in and start taking the right shots and start, making plays by facilitating. Because now when I watch Warrior games and I see Klay Thompson come off the screen, I'm not instantly thinking, he's going to shoot the ball now. I'm thinking now he might shoot the ball or he might hit the rolling man, Kevon Looney or Draymond Green, whoever's setting the screen. So we're starting to see Klay Thompson get his legs back from under him and his shot starting to fall. And now he's starting to get closer to, I believe 40% from three. He's at 38 right now. Eventually he's going to touch 40% from three and he's going to be averaging 20 points a game. As soon as he starts playing back-to-backs. I believe he's still not playing back-to-backs. But at the end of the day, Klay Thompson, he's slowly starting to come back. And this is something I've tried to tell you guys, and you guys all try to tell me Desmond Bane is somebody else is better than Klay Thompson.
For sure, Desmond Bane's still better. There's no question about that.
There's always somebody that's better than Klay Thompson, but it's not.
If Desmond Bane did get injured, he'd probably be a fringe all-star. We wouldn't be saying that about Klay.
No, there's no way Desmond Bane was going to be.
He would have been a fringe all-star for sure.
No, there's no way. I personally just don't see it.
He would have been a fringe one. He would have been. I think he was averaging like 23 or 24 before he got injured. I had no question in my mind that he would have been a fringe all-star.
He was averaging 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't necessarily scream all-star to me.
Definitely screams fringe all-star, especially with the amount of guard play in the West.
That's fringe all-star right there. Memphis was cooking with him before he went down too.
But forget Desmond Bane, but when it comes to Klay Thompson, there's always somebody that's better than that. You guys try to tell me that, but I told you guys slowly but surely he was going to get back to his old form. So, it's I'm glad to see. it's starting to come all together for him, and it might be a scary sight for the rest of the league. If he gets his legs back from under him, and the Warriors figure out this double timeline thing that they got going on, or just kind of stick with what's working for them right now. Letting the young guys just sit out and practice with the team and stuff like that, and just have these veterans that they have and a few of their free agent acquisitions get minutes and help them out on the rotational side. But I believe the Warriors and Nets, man, those two teams are back, and they're the Warriors are slowly going to creep into the top 5 of the Western Conference, and I believe the Brooklyn Nets have the opportunity to sneak into the top 5 of the Eastern Conference. But I feel like the Eastern Conference is just a lot more stacked compared to the West.
Record a new hit, then we making us a film. Wouldn't sign a deal if I got a couple mil. Been in the lab, now they throwing out deals. Yes, now late, now that's overkill.